Hello everyone on my archaeology channel. I'm recording this video from Grand Junction, Colorado. I just got finished with a seminar about becoming a state national and how to use contract law and understanding the legal system and the history, the hidden history in terms of like our country and our past and the manipulation and how to regain freedom and sovereignty. I was gonna go and explore the town, but the weather looks like this. It's just raining, so I figured, well, I could just like make a quick video. So this does actually tie in with everything else I've been posting on this YouTube channel about ancient history and archaeology and the Anunnaki and the story of human enslavement and the aliens and the how we all got here and how it all came to be and how we got into this situation. It does tie into this. So again, I started this channel because I thought archaeology and ancient history was just really interesting. But along my journey, I discovered through reading all these archaeological research papers and following all these different archaeologists and studying religion and ancient history and all that stuff, I learned how humanity came to be in a system of enslavement and how there's been this constant battle for humanity's freedom that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And I'm here at this seminar because I'm learning how to get our freedom back by understanding contract law and understanding how the legal system works and how it's been manipulated and how we can use it to our advantage to reclaim sovereignty and freedom for everyone. So, again, when I started diving into this archaeology stuff, started learning about cuneiform, Assyrian, Akkadian, the Anunnaki history, ancient Greece, the biblical text, Genesis, the book of Genesis, the genetics of Isis, the genetic manipulation, the geneticists that created us, and the ones that gave us our DNA upgrades, like the ability to sexually reproduce, the ability to expand our consciousness and become aware, and then also the agenda of Enlil, as they call it in the ancient Anunnaki narrative, about the rivalry between the two brothers, how one wanted to enslave us and one wanted to give us these genetic upgrades and turn us into gods, like the gods, metaphorically speaking. But when I was learning about the early enslavement, like when the Anunnaki genetically manipulated us to be slaves, how they were basically just enslaving everyone through force, because the people were really, really dumb back then. They didn't have the internet. They couldn't look up all this stuff. But it was basically like, all right, do this work or we're going to kill you. And that's how they did it. It was just through threats and force. But then over the millennia, the population continued to increase to a point to where they could no longer enslave everyone through force. They didn't have the resources or the manpower to enslave everyone through force. So what they had to do, and when I say they, I'm talking about the Illuminati bloodline, the cabal, the deep state, the bloodlines of Enlil, or maybe Enlil himself is still here. That's what I'm talking about, the enslavers. They realized that they could enslave people much more efficiently by psychologically manipulating their consciousness and getting them to fraudulently contract themselves into slavery. Mainly, this starts with our parents ignorantly signing us into slavery through the birth certificate, which turns us into citizens. Now, the word citizen, city means municipal, zen means servant or slave. That's why citizens have no rights. They have no freedom. They have privileges. Citizens are required to abide by policies that are enforced by a corporation. Policies are not laws, but because our parents contracted us into citizenship, that contract is holding us accountable to abide by the policies. Policies such as having to ask permission just to travel with the driver's license. See, being able to transport yourself in your own private property, such as a car, that's a right, but not if you're a citizen. If you're a citizen, it's a privilege because you have to go and ask permission to get the license to operate that vehicle, to drive that car. Same thing with traveling. You have to go and ask permission to the government. You have to go ask permission by getting a passport. You see, what they did is they took away your freedoms and then they sell them back to you as privileges, because you have to pay a fee to get that driver's license. You have to pay a fee to get that passport. You have to pay a fee and keep paying fees to keep registering your vehicle in their system of enslavement. So see, what they did is they stopped enslaving people through force, and they started enslaving people through coercion and psychological manipulation of consciousness, and by consent. Well, coercion. They tricked people into consenting through contracts, through fraudulent contracts, like the birth certificate. Same thing when you go to the car dealership and you buy a car. There's all this paperwork and contracts you got to fill out. When you fill those out, you're actually forfeiting ownership of that vehicle to the state. Same thing when you sign all the paperwork to buy a house. If you're a citizen, you're forfeiting ownership of it to the state. See, citizens don't even own anything. The state owns everything. The state owns their kids. The state owns their house. The state owns their cars. But there's things you can do within the legal system that I'm learning about at this seminar, where you can reclaim ownership and no longer be under the jurisdiction of the United States corporation and their policy enforcement agents known as the police. That's why they're called the police, because they enforce policies, not laws. They enforce policies. But there's certain contracts and there's certain legal documents that if you know how to fill out, it will terminate all the contract, the original contracts that contracted you into that slavery. So that's why I'm here. I'm learning about how to undo all this stuff. And again, this all ties in with everything I've been teaching on this channel and all the audiobooks I've been reading on this channel about how humans were genetically engineered and then got enslaved. And the enslavement is still going on to this day, thousands and thousands of years after our original genetic manipulators created us by splicing our genes. And and again, we've gone really deep into that topic with all the books I've been reading, the story of Genesis, the genetics of Isis, the genetic manipulations, Enki and Lil, the rivalry, the DNA upgrades, consciousness. It all ties in together. So again, I'm just making this video to share what I'm learning and about how all the stuff I'm learning today about contract law and the different statuses, the state national versus the citizen, how this all ties in to this Anunnaki creation story and the story of human enslavement and the battle for human freedom and the extraterrestrial influences and the extraterrestrial interventions, and how I believe that they're still here and they're still attempting to enslave humanity, just in different ways now than thousands of years ago, like these stories we read in the Bible and the ancient Sumerian creation stories. It's still going on today. Nothing new under the sun. We're still enslaved. There's still entities attempting to enslave us, just they're a lot more sophisticated in how they do it now than how they were doing it back then, thousands of years ago. So I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description of this video where you can join the Telegram groups that are created by the public speakers that are putting on these state national events that I'm learning all this from. One guy, his name is Bobby Lawrence. The other guy's name is David Straight. And these two guys are traveling all around the country right now, putting on these seminars and teaching people how to reclaim their freedom and their sovereignty. They're also teaching about how, and again, they quote a lot of stuff from the book of Genesis at these seminars. They quote a lot of stuff from ancient scriptures about how, yes, there was, a God that wanted to give us freedom and give us the ability to expand our consciousness and give us dominion over our lives. But over time, there's these evil entities on this planet that have been working very, very hard and in very sophisticated ways to keep us from claiming our freedom and keep us from claiming our sovereignty, and how they've been doing it through these manipulative contracts that people are tricked into signing. So I'm leaving those Telegram links in the description of this video, and I'm going to be going to more of these seminars. If anyone else wants to come to a seminar and learn about this stuff, it's really interesting. Maybe you can see me in person, say hi. I'm always open to connecting with like-minded people who are interested in reclaiming their freedom and helping free humanity from their bondage. I'll see you guys in the next video.